Getting quite hip now, going straight to the edge with Public Enemy at number 21. Fight the Power up 8 from number 29 on this fancy playlist July 30th, 1989. Just imagine if this was actually a real radio station. Think about it. Dropping Public Enemy between the likes of Paula Abdul, Debbie Gibson, Gloria Stefan, Don Henley, Winger, Pixies. It's a fun playlist. Yes, indeed. I like to think that it is. Hopefully you agree. Public Enemy at number 21, a controversial band. Socially conscious, politically inspired, but also accused of anti-Semitism, reverse racism, and took a shot at a couple of white icons in this record, John Wayne and Elvis Presley, and also accused of homophobia. Professor Griff, one of the band members, really dissed about the Jews to the Washington Times. He's doing an interview with the Washington Times, said something that the Jews were responsible for the wickedness of the world or something like that. Got into trouble. Massive outcry from the Jewish community, and he was let go from the band for a while, but he was reinstated. But still, this record, Fight the Power, was geared towards empowering the black community. But there was a lot of white guys, young white guys, who were into this band because of the beats. They had some great beats and the rebellious nature of the lyrics of this record. They got into that, and I kind of favored them. Although I look back at Public Enemy with more mixed feelings now, but uh, I was definitely pretty partial to them at the time. A little bit harder edged than Salt and Pepper, LL Cool J, although LL Cool J could get hard edge at times, and definitely less commercial than Tone Loc, who was a mass appeal rapper for a couple of years, for about a year or so. Public Enemy with Fight the Power, 20 samples used on this record. 17 samples used in the first. This is phenomenal. I'm looking at this number and I'm like, no, that can't be right, but I came across it. 17 samples used on the first 10 seconds of this record. Two live instruments, turntables, the scratches supplied by Terminator X. Now, you know that's a badass hip hop name right there, Terminator X. Don't take any prisoners, baby. He did the scratching, the saxophone solo. Guess who played the saxophone solo? Bradford Marsalis. Saxophone, band leader. He was band leaders of Jay Leno's Tonight Show band the first 3 years of the Tonight Show when Jay Leno took over in 1992. He was with them for several years. Played on an album by Sting. Very talented person, Bradford Marsalis, and I think I covered just about everything. Wanted to make this a short video, but I want to read you a quote. I mentioned earlier that they were a controversial band. There was a quote, and I'll just read part of it, sort of a scrambled version of the quote, by Brian Hardgroove, bass player, producer, Public Enemy. This is what he said. I think it was about this song, Fight the Power. Law enforcement is necessary because as a species, human species, we haven't evolved past that, past needing law enforcement. We're not about fighting authority. We're fighting against abuse of power, quote unquote, although it's sort of a scrambled quote, not completely word by word, but very close. I love that. That was just instilling a little bit of hopefulness, a method to the madness. Fight the Power. I tell you what this song reminds me of a little bit. Now, it was inspired a little bit by Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers, which came out in the summer of 1975, although it was not a political song per se. But this record, an echo, just an echo, a faint echo of some of the civil rights and the protest music of the late 60s. That's probably why this record resonated with me. because it reminded me of that song by James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black, I'm Proud. Remember that one? Summer, Fall of '68. And also the Chamber Brothers, one of those all-time anthems by the Chamber Brothers, Time Has Come Today, that gospel psychedelic protest record, The Time Has Come Today, the apocalypse is coming, you know, and this song's got that vibe, that Public Enemy, Fight the Power's got a little bit of that vibe in there. This is a manifesto of sorts. Fight the power. And that's it, folks. As Bugs Bunny once said, or as he used to say. Number 21 on this fancy playlist, July 30th, 1989. Public Enemy, Fight the Power.